Hey, welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Today we're going to get this tomato bed trellised up, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing a single string and a single vine on each of these plants. So let's go. Well, these tomato plants have been in here in this bed for about a month, and they've really taken off. They're already putting some flowers on, and we're getting tomatoes, but they're starting to lay down, and I need to get them up and start training them so they can grow nice and healthy. I planted these from seed. We started with the dense sowing method, and I showed you how to grow these and save some space under your grow lights. Once they got about 4 inches tall, you could do it at 3 inches tall. I showed you in another video how to divide these and pot them into single containers and let them get a little bit larger. And so we were able to select the strongest plants and grow them up. And so we've got a surplus of plants here, but that's the way we did it. So we potted these up and got them ready to go outside and hardened them off. And then we put them in the garden about a month ago. And so they've been outdoors growing for a month. This is what they looked like when they went in. They were nice little healthy plants, and we got them established out there, watered them in really well, and they took off like wildfire. The concept here is that we're going to grow them all the way up to these tubes here, and we're going to try to keep them on a single vine. These are all indeterminate plants, and they're already showing a strong tendency to vine, and we're going to just drop a string from here down. We're going to clamp the tomatoes to the string, and we're going to keep the vine near the ground pruned back. And ultimately, I don't know if I've got enough height for it, but ultimately we want to have 10 to 12 branches, and everything else below that gets pruned off. As the tomato continues to grow in height, we'll take the string, unhook it from the pole, we'll move it down one station, one width of, between my plants, and we'll hang it back up, and that tomato can keep growing. And we'll prune from the bottom all those branches that we don't need. And we won't prune off our fruit, our trusses with the fruit, but we will prune off all the branches, leaving 12 branches per plant. That's enough to keep these plants nice and healthy. Let me show you how to do it. I bought these hooks that have a lot of string on them, and the string just wraps around like that. So you could even make these if you wanted to. These hooks are designed to hook onto a wire in a greenhouse, but I have a pole, and it won't hook on the pole. So I'm going to use a zip tie just to make a little circle here. And I can hook that right there. Now, the string drops down to where my plant is, and I'm going to trellis this plant up the string using some clips. Let's get down there and I'll show you. I have these little clips. These are good for a net trellis or good for a string like this. And all you have to do is capture that string in the crook there, and when you close it up, it's permanently attached. So, we bring our string down to our tomato, and actually I'm going to prune this up. I don't want all these suckers growing. I don't want all these branches down here near the soil, because, well, branches near the soil can bring you problems with early blight, fungal diseases. So we're going to trim this up and get this bottom part of this plant nice and clean. Now you see there, we just have a bare stem. This is what we're after, is just a bare stem. And I'm going to trap that stem just under this junction here on my string. Clip it together. There we go. Take that sucker off while I'm there. All right, now this is the beginning of trellising. As this tomato grows, we'll clip it along the path here and keep this thing pruned up real nice. There's another sucker we don't need. Now, a sucker on a tomato will grow a whole nother plant, and we're just aiming for just this one main vine. And these branches here we want to keep. The plant needs to photosynthesize. But in the crotch of those, the main stem and the growing, the branches here, that's where your suckers come out. And if you're just going for one single vine, you want to take all those suckers out. That'll grow a whole nother vine, whole nother plant. Thing will get unruly. So there's our first one. That's how we're going to do it. We take care of a few of these others. Now I know somebody's going to ask, where did I get these hooks? I bought these hooks from a fellow YouTuber. Let's see, Next Level Gardening. Go check out his channel, Next Level Gardening. He's got a little shop. You can buy these things there. You can get them on Amazon. They're just really cheap. You can get them pretty much anywhere. First things first, we need to go put in our zip ties so that we can put our hooks on. This trellis system was copied from Josh Sattin. He's got a video called Trellis to Make You Jealous. And I like what Josh is doing on his channel, and I've learned a lot there, so figured, well, I'll make this trellis and give it a try. All right, I gotta watch out. I've got my little rebar spikes sticking up over here for my hoop house. Every now and then, like a klutz, I come and I trip on them. Now, if you just run a wire across, you don't have to do this zip tie thing because, well, you've got a wire. Need to keep these relatively loose here. Wow, these tomatoes are doing great. These tomatoes are fantastic. They love it. They just got a nice rain shower today, so the whole garden's looking real perky. These tomato plants have been in the ground for just 1 month. And they've grown a foot and a half. All right. Run down enough string to reach the ground down there. There we go. Hook it on. This system has lots of potential. I've seen it worked in several other gardens. Several gardeners use this method in their greenhouses to do commercial growing. So, it's a proven method. The only question I have is, will this method work outdoors for me? I don't have a greenhouse, so will it work outdoors? We'll find out. Trip up over here on my T-post. I got a trellis system I got to build for my beans here and my cucumbers down there. So I've got a bunch of T-posts laying around getting in the way. I'm glad OSHA isn't around this garden. Okay, it's starting to look like something now. Got all these strings. Time to clip my plants to them and give them a good prune. We'll come out every week and tend these tomatoes. They probably need to be pruned up at least once a week. Okay, man, I should have waited. Look at me, I'm covered in sweat. I should have waited because now we got a cool front blowing through and it's actually kind of pleasant out here. But we got it all done. We've pruned. I found some caterpillars on some of the plants down there. So we've got to go through and inspect and pick those off. And yeah, you can see some of them are blowing in the wind. They're kind of loose. That's okay. As they grow up, they'll weigh down and put tension on those lines. And as we clip them, as they grow up, those lines are that's the trellis. And well, that's it. It's pretty easy. Now I've got good airflow underneath my tomatoes. Airflow is important for tomatoes. They got to have openness. They don't want to. You don't want them to touch the ground. So we've accomplished that today. Let me take you a closer look. All right, everybody's got a clip. Everybody's got a line. Everybody has been pruned, and we've had all the suckers taken off that I could find. So you can see now there's there's still risk of splashback from the soil, but it's been minimized, or at least it's been, dropped down a few notches now that these plants don't have any leaves hanging down touching the ground. That one over there does. We got to go snip that one off. But that's how easy it is. These will grow up this string, and when I need to let it down, I'll just unhook it here and unroll some string, and we'll be on our way. Phoebe had a spa day today. She went to get a bath and she went to have her nails done, and she did not like it. Phoebe, hey, did you not like your spa day? You're not grateful for the many blessings you have, huh? She's kind of mad at us right now. Hey, thanks for joining me today on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Please follow our channel, subscribe if you haven't already. and you'll learn how to grow a small garden in your backyard just like this one. We'll follow these tomatoes throughout their growing season, and I'll give you updates as I do major waves of care, and hopefully we'll be able to harvest some good fruit. Thanks for joining us. Happy gardening to you. Bye-bye.